So today I've been thinking long and hard about one position on the Minnesota Vikings roster. The whole entire position of the linebackers, the whole entire group, the linebackers group. If you look at the positions that we've got, the players that we got at the positions we've got, I really don't want to throw too much on Jordan Hicks. I don't want to throw too much on Jordan Hicks and say he's going to be a huge factor for the defense. I think if that was the case, the Vikings would have signed him to more than just a one-year deal, prove-it deal. When he had that opportunity last year, I think he played pretty good. He was just there. He wasn't too splashy. I think he made one big play or two big plays last year. I want to say against the Eagles. He had an interception, or I could be wrong. It could be against the Cardinals. But it just goes to show you that he really wasn't too much of an impact player. He was just there. He was solid. He was like he makes me think of guys like Ben Lieber. Guys that are just there just to fill the role in, and they're good, but they're not great. We could always improve on that for that position. I think that's why the Vikings did the smart thing and signed him to a one-year deal. You can find Jordan Hicks in the third, fourth round of every single draft, every single year. So moving on away from him, let's talk about the other guys. With the departure of Eric Kendricks, it's going to be kind of tough to, and I'm using the words kinda. I'm using that word kinda because it is going to be kind of hard to replace what Eric Kendricks brought to the field and in the locker room, I'm sure. But with his departure, that's going to leave a huge opportunity for a guy like Brian Asamoah. I think Asamoah is going to be the shining factor. He's going to be the X factor in the defense. Now, I could be wrong, but based on what the eye test gives me, looking at how he played last year and the limited time that he had to go out there and show his stuff, he played really good. He played pretty good. I don't want to say great because being great, there won't be no questions about it. There won't be a split division between fans like, hey, this guy's not that good. He only played good against garbage teams and so on and so forth. So he played pretty good last year. Brian Asamoah, I feel like he's going to be one of the X factors for many, many years to come for that defense. He's going to be the key guy in the middle, kind of like how Eric Kendricks was for so long for the Minnesota Vikings. I think that we got a good one with Brian Asamoah. He's going to be taking care of all the pass cover. He like they call him a heat missile, a flying missile, heat-seeking missile is what I think they call him. So look for a big breakout season from Brian Asamoah this upcoming year. Another two players that I think don't get enough attention and enough respect are guys that have been there. And if you look at their numbers from last year to the year before that, you look at DJ Wanham and then you look at Patrick Jones. Those two guys have flashed. They really have flashed, but I don't think they got the opportunity to really put out what they can do on the football field. I think that those two guys are going to have some really, really good numbers this upcoming year. They're solid run stoppers, and they're good against the pass rush. They're good at getting sacks. So look for big things to happen from DJ Wanham and Patrick Jones. I think those guys might actually be the starters on the outside because from what I was hearing from Viking experts when I would listen to the 9 to Noon show, Paul Allen would ask the question, who do you think is better suited outside backer at this point in their careers? Patrick Jones or Danielle Hunter? And that was a concerning question because I was like, wow, this guy's in the locker room, he sees everything. He's out on the practice field. You really can't say too much about what's going on in the locker room, what the coaches are saying, but he does drop some nuggets here and there. And he was saying that Danielle Hunter looked pretty good. He was lost most of the time in coverage, but he was getting better. But there was never a question mark in Patrick Jones' game, his development. And with a guy like Brian Flores, I think Patrick Jones might be our defensive player of the year. He might be the defensive MVP. I think Patrick Jones might be that guy that we've been looking for, like that pass rusher in the 3-4. I know we've only been in the 3-4. This will be our second season, but Patrick Jones did not get the opportunity because we signed, and I say we as in the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings signed Zadarius Smith. Had they not signed Zadarius Smith, which was a good move at first because it was one of those we're sticking to the Packers, but I think we need to get that was a bad move overall. I think we all agree on that. That's why he only lasted basically a half season. He was a non-factor the second half of the season last year. And let's be honest, if Zadarius Smith was not on that roster last year, Patrick Jones, I feel, would have taken that starting job, and then DJ Wonnum would have been the rotation piece all throughout that linebacker core. And now you look at all those players that I just mentioned, and then you look at the guy like Ivan Pace Jr. That he reminds me of so much of Everson Griffin. He reminds me of John Randall. You know, John Randall was an undrafted, what was he, a defensive tackle? It's crazy to think that he was a sack master as a defensive tackle, but I think he should have played defensive, and he could have played anything he wanted. You look at Ivan Pace Jr. and what the presence that he's going to be basically like a blitzing linebacker. I wouldn't trust him in coverage, so that's probably why he wasn't drafted. He's always got a knack to being around the ball. He's just got good awareness, good athleticism. But how long is that going to carry him in the NFL before teams start exposing him in pass coverage? What's going to happen when teams come out in a 3-4 receiver set and he's a covering linebacker? Do we really trust him out there to cover a linebacker, or not a linebacker, but a tight end? No, but I think they can when it's not 3-4 receiver sets, I think they're going to bring him into blitz on like 2 receiver sets or something like that. But Ivan Pace is a pretty good pickup. Do I see him as a starter? No, I think he's going to be a rotational piece. The guy that I do think has a strong chance of starting and taking Danielle Hunter's starting job, you're going to be surprised by this one. He's the son of a legendary defensive lineman for the San Francisco 49ers way back when, Andre Carter. If you guys don't know much about Andre Carter, didn't watch him, if you guys are too young or completely forgot about Andre Carter, go look his stats up. The man was solid. The man had like, I want to say he had a pretty good career. He had a really good career. He as soon as he made the league, he was always on everybody's radar. In today's NFL, I want to say that the player that most resembles Andre Carter to me, I want to say, is a guy, I'm trying to think of the guy, he was just on my mind right now. Andre Carter, it's Fletcher Cox. He was like Fletcher Cox, but a lot more athletic, you know. The guy was really, really good. And now you look at the genes, the DNA, the genes that Andre Carter passed down to Andre Carter II. And on top of that, Andre Carter II went to, I want to say Army, right? He went to the Army, so he's trained mentally. So you know he's going to bust his butt and he's going to give you his all. He's not about fooling around or anything like that. His dad showed him how to play football. His dad was a great player. If you don't believe me, look his stats up. Look where he played in multiple teams, yes, but when he was with the 49ers, he was an absolute beast, a juggernaut of a defensive lineman. And then, so I think that Andre Carter II is going to be the starting outside linebacker by mid-season. I mean, there's something about that guy, Andre Carter II, that's really catching my eye. Just a single thought of how great Andre Carter was in his heyday, and now you pass that on to his son, Andre Carter II. And based on the highlights that I've seen of him, he can fly around, he can cover. And as far as Ivan Pace goes, Ivan Pace Jr. can be that blitzing linebacker. He could probably defend like the flats or something like that. So the linebacker position for the Minnesota Vikings, it's such a great problem for Brian Flores to have. I'm so excited to see who's going to be the leading sacker, who's going to be the sack leader on linebackers for the Minnesota Vikings, because if you look at it, these guys are all freakishly athletic. These guys can all fly. Brian Asamoah would be probably everybody's go-to answer on the sack master for this upcoming season. But believe it or not, I think it's going to be Patrick Jones. Patrick Jones is going to lead the league, not the league, but the team in sacks. Patrick Jones, everybody. You guys, he does not get enough respect. DJ Wonnum can also get after the quarterback. I mean, we've got to start looking at the whole entire project of the linebackers, man. That's the heartbeat of the whole entire defense. Yes, we got the defensive line there. Yes, they're there, but they're just there just to be there. You know, they clog the middle and they take away the run game. But these guys, the linebackers, don't be surprised if that's the heartbeat of the defense this upcoming season. I'm extremely excited. Andre Carter II, I think, is going to be the impact player that we all were looking for all along since Everson Griffin had his mental breakdown. I think he's going to be that guy that we've been missing. But the reason why we started Zadarius Smith is because we were looking for that side piece to go next to Danielle Hunter. And now we finally got that piece. So it's going to be Patrick Jones on one side. It's going to be Patrick Jones, Asamoah, Hicks for this upcoming year. And then it's going to be Patrick Jones, Asamoah Hicks, and then I'm going to say Andre Carter II. I really think, and then you got some really nice rotational pieces like Ivan Pace Jr. that can come in and wreak havoc, and then you also got DJ Wanham. So sky's the limit with this defense. I'm excited. I know all Viking fans out there are excited. Yeah, man, it's a great time to be a Minnesota Vikings fan. Don't be surprised if we go from the 31st overall ranked defense to like top 5 defenses overall. There's something about this defense that's really catching my eye. Those linebackers, I'm telling you, those linebackers are just absolutely amazing. I cannot wait. And shout out to Triple P Purple Pocket Podcast and the One Bar and Lepagis Show. You guys are all familiar with that. Purple for the win, FTW. Purple and gold. My guy over there. And then let me see some more. Minnesota Vikings Syndicate. That guy's an up and coming Minnesota Vikings streamer, content creator. So I mean, I'm hoping that one of these days that every single one of us, every single Minnesota Vikings fan, content creator, can all group together and we can all gel together and call it the Purple Asylum or something like that, where all Viking fans go. And imagine how deep all Minnesota Viking fans can get. We will take over all of YouTube if we can just grow together. Like, it'd be a beautiful thing to see. But that's for time to tell, and we will see if it ever happens. But shout out to all you guys watching this video that stuck around for an 11-12 minute video. And yes, I am out. Until next time, my friends, Skull Vikings, honor your name.